Hello and thanks for joining me for some Project Zomboid build 42. This is just going to be a short video just going through my sandbox settings and character traits for my series A Guy from Echo Creek. The link to the playlist will be in the description below. So let's get into it. So we're doing a solo game into the custom sandbox. We are starting in Echo Creek. And I do have a preset here, but this is basically the apocalypse settings, but with a few tweaks. So starting off with the start hour at 5 AM. This is something that I usually do all the time anyway. Basically, as soon as you spawn into a game, if you're lucky enough to have a TV in the house that you spawn into, then there is going to be a Life and Living show on, regardless of what time it is. So if we spawn in at 5 AM, you're going to catch an additional fishing show, followed up by the 6 AM cook show. So you're going to get 2 TV shows in the first hour. Onto the zombies, I'll have disabled respawn, and we do counter that in the meta with by adding additional helicopter events. The transmission, set that to saliva only because I am guaranteed to get scratched, and it could be a very, very short series if that were the case. Down here, these 3, they get changed automatically when we disable the respawn, which is up here. So that's all we've changed there. In the loot, these 2 settings here are new ones, well, all of this bit. But basically, so these settings, what they do now is you now have a chance that buildings will already be looted by the time you get to them. And that chance increases the longer you take to get to it. The last thing I want to do is travel halfway across the map and find that the building I was travelling to for specific items that I needed has already been looted, so I've just disabled those 2. Down here I have bumped up bags, keys, cooking and other up to normal, so it does show up as custom, but they are normal, which is 1 instead of rare. So bags, there are a few different new bags that I'd like to check out, and it's always handy having bags available. Keys, there's a bunch of new fancy key rings and stuff, and I do like having the ability to find more keys and get into cars and whatnot. Cooking, so this does not affect food. It's only for cooking implements such as frying pans and knives, which come in handy. And then other, we've bumped that up as well just for why not. This one here I've also changed zombie population loot effect. So basically what this does, if we go back to the normal view, you've either got normal or abundant. We've set that to abundant. Basically what that means is the more zombies there are in an area, the higher amount of loot is going to spawn in the nearby buildings. So moving on to world, we have made sure that that none of the gas stations are going to be empty, and that they all start off with full tanks. The gas pumps, that is. You could have it infinite, but that's what we've done there. I've disabled the light bulbs so that they never break. Never did like having to change light bulbs all the time in build 41, and that's going to be even more of a pain in the butt now with the new lighting. So I've just disabled that, personal preference, and we've also bumped up the basement spawn frequency so we can check out all the new basements. Moving on to nature. The only two that I've changed here are these two. I don't believe they actually change gameplay all that much. It's more visual and it's more for computer performance. I'm playing on a laptop. I can't afford a new laptop and I'd like to continue playing on my laptop without it catching on fire. So I've just bumped those two down. Moving on to the meta, we have set helicopters to sometimes instead of once. We've bumped up the random road stories, which is going to give you extra car crashes, including ambulances, cars with trailers, police blockades, those cars that are halfway through getting a tyre changed, and roadworks as well, which is can be a good source of finding a sledgehammer. And we also bumped up the zone stories chance as well for different groups of interesting zombies. And we've enabled the minimap. Onto our character, I've made two changes here. Bumped down the rear vulnerability to low, and we've put on the weapon multi-hit. So I used to always have keen hearing, but now with all the character trait tweaks, I can't afford as many of the good traits anymore. And so, yep, I don't like getting jacked from behind. So bump that down. That's all I've changed there. Everything else is standard apocalypse. Vehicles, I have put the vehicle spawn rate up. So vehicles are a good place to find things like cigarettes, that sort of thing. Left everything else the same. And livestock we've left as default. So moving on to our character, we are taking DIY expert, gives us 2 points in maintenance, 1 in short blunt, 1 in carpentry. So I don't really care about the carpentry, we could get that from TV. But I believe with the new muscle strain, it is more tied to your skill in a specific weapon type than it is to do with strength. Though it might be a combination, but it definitely helps to have a specialization in a weapon, which is going to be short blunt. We'll go through the negative traits in a minute. So along with that, we've taken Whittler, which gives us 2 carving. With 2 carving, we can take a tree branch and we can carve it into a medium handle, which can be used for other crafting things, but by itself, it makes an okay short blunt weapon that we can easily make for ourselves. So we've taken cat's eyes, which I think is going to be more important now with the new lighting, especially once the power goes out. Dexterous, because a lot of the game is spent doing inventory management. Outdoorsy, because I hate getting colds. Wakeful, so you get more stuff done during the day, you need to sleep less. We've got fast learner. Echo Creek does not have a library. Found it a bit more difficult to find books early on in the game. So I think fast learner is a bit of a must. And we'll take a wilderness knowledge, which is one of the new ones. This gives us an extra point of carving. So with 3 points of carving, we can carve a pipe if we find any tobacco. It also gives us 1 in foraging, 1 in napping, which lets us make certain things, although I haven't really played around with that too much just yet. So not sure how much we'll use that. And an extra point of maintenance. So we start off with 3 maintenance, pretty good. So with our negative traits, we've got thin-skinned. Hearty appetite means we need to eat more. Prone to illness, and I would never take prone to illness without outdoorsy. So effectively that really only gives us 2 points. slow healer, which, I mean, I always see slow healer as a bonus as far as you need to change bandages more often, which just gets your medical skill up. So, weak stomach, as long as you don't eat rotten food or poisonous food. Fast metabolism is a new one. This is a replacement for the old underweight or overweight. So that gives us low weight, which we can get rid of. However, we have a permanent tendency to lose weight. We have slow reader. And we have smoker, even though it's been nerfed. It's still 2 points. And I do find it fun. Your guy can now smoke. He can now cough when he's smoking. Does seem to need to smoke more often. But there's other more things, like there's different pouches of tobacco and rolling papers and chewing tobacco. You can now grow your own tobacco. So we're going to play with that. So that's basically our traits. And we have here Jack Gen X. Now with the wilderness knowledge, that also lets you have a hunting vest, which is pretty nice. Does have a bit of protection on it. But that is basically our sandbox settings and our character creations for a guy from Echo Creek. So if you want to watch that series, the link will be in the description below. If you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like or a comment down below. And if you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.